Hi dear students, this is me Ishfaq Riaz and today we are going to discuss an important and most interesting topic in physics, that is the equations of uniformly accelerated linear motion for a freely falling body. But before applying these to a freely falling body, let me remind you the equations of uniformly accelerated linear motion, which you have already derived in the first chapter, motion. So let me write those equations here, that is V is equal to U plus AT, right? Then S is equal to UT plus 1 by 2 AT square, and one thing more, V square minus U square, it is equal to 2AS. These are the equations of uniformly accelerated linear motion. Now what is meant by the uniformly accelerated motion? That is, acceleration is constant, that is the velocity changes by equal amounts in equal intervals of time, and the linear means body is moving along a straight line. So these are the equations of uniformly accelerated linear motion. So this is velocity time relationship, this is position time relationship, and this is the relationship between initial velocity and final velocity. Now let me tell you two more equations for the uniformly accelerated linear motion. In case the acceleration is constant, then the average velocity is given by initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. So in this very case, displacement will be equal to V bar, that is the average velocity into time, because as per the definition, velocity is equal to displacement by time. So this displacement is simply equal to average velocity into time here. But remember one thing, this equation is valid only when the acceleration is uniform, I mean constant acceleration. So I will write the displacement S, that is equal to U plus V divided by 2 into T. Now the last equation for a freely falling body is basically the distance covered in the nth second of the motion. There is a difference in saying the distance covered in n seconds and distance covered in nth seconds. Let me write the equation first, then I will elaborate it. So distance covered in nth second, it is given by U plus A by 2 2n minus 1. Now what does this nth second mean? Let me elaborate it here. For example, this is the motion of a body, and let me suppose that it covers 4 meters in 1 second, 8 meters in 2 seconds, and let this be 20 meters in 3 seconds. Let me explain it once again. Suppose there is a body and it covers 4 meters in 1 second, it covers 8 meters in 2 seconds, and it covers 20 meters in 3 seconds. Can you tell me the distance covered by the body in third second? Yes, you are right. It will be simply 20 minus 8, that is equal to 12 meter. So this is basically the distance covered in third second. This total, it is the distance covered in 3 seconds, that is 20 meter, but the distance covered in third seconds is simply distance covered in 3 seconds. Let me write it here. Distance covered in third second, it is distance covered in 3 seconds minus distance covered in 2 seconds. So let me write it here. So this is simply 20 minus 8, that is equal to 12 meter. This is what is meant by the distance covered in a particular second, third second, fourth second. So this is S nth, it is equal to U, that is the initial velocity, plus A by 2 into 2n minus 1. These are the equations of uniformly accelerated linear motion, which you can derive in 9th class by graphical method or by algebraic method, and in the 11th class we derive these equations by calculus method by taking the help of differentiation and integration. But right now we are applying these equations to a freely falling body. Now what is meant by the freely falling body? I have already explained it in the previous lecture. Simply if you throw a ball upwards or downwards, or if you release it from rest, that is simply called a freely falling body. And the acceleration that is produced in the freely falling body, that is called the acceleration due to gravity. I have already elaborated all these things in the topic, that is the small g, that is acceleration due to gravity. Now here this acceleration produced in a freely falling body, that is equal to the acceleration due to gravity, and on or near the surface of earth it is all constant and is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. So we will discuss here, we will apply these equations to a freely falling body. Now you know the acceleration produced in a freely falling body, it is equal to the acceleration due to gravity, and on or near the surface of earth it is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, and it is always directed vertically downwards. Now if you throw a ball vertically upwards, it does not matter whether a body is rising or falling, its acceleration is again equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Now what happens when we throw a ball upwards? Its velocity decreases by 9.8 meter per second every second of its motion, and at the topmost point it ultimately comes to rest and starts the downward motion. Now let me elaborate it here. If you throw a body with some initial velocity, its velocity decreases by 9.8 meter per second every second of its motion. When it reaches the highest point, its velocity becomes 0, and then it starts the downward journey, and it's during the downward journey its velocity increases by 9.8 meter per second every second of its motion until it hits the ground, right? So this is what is meant by a freely falling body and the acceleration produced in a freely falling body. Now let us apply the equations of motion to a uniformly, let us apply the equations of motion to a freely falling body. For that I will replace A by G, because this is a freely falling body, and the vertical displacement. Since we are discussing the vertical motion under gravity, I will replace this vertical displacement by h. तो s के बदले में लिखूंगा h, that is the vertical displacement. But before writing the equations of motion, let me write them once again here, especially the three equations. V is equal to u, okay, V is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 at square, and the third equation is v square minus u square, it is equal to 2as, and the fourth one is s nth is equal to u plus a by 2 2n minus 1. So I have to replace a by g, that is the acceleration due to gravity, and the vertical displacement by height h. Now before writing these equations, before solving a particular problem on these equations, we have to take care of the proper sign conventions. For upward motion, let me write the sign conventions here. If the body is moving upwards, so for upward motion we can take g negative, because the velocity of the body decreases during upward motion and ultimately it comes to rest after reaching the highest point. And for the downward motion, so if you simply drop your body from the rest, if the body simply starts from rest, so for downward motion, we will replace g by a positive sign. Simply will remember these sign conventions. For upward motion we can take g negative, and for downward motion, since the velocity increases by 9.8 meter per second every second of its motion, so we will have to take g positive. Or you can follow one more sign convention like this. If this is the origin of the Cartesian coordinate system, this is x-axis and this is y-axis, right? So on this very side this is positive, this is negative, above this is positive and below this is negative. You can take displacement and velocity positive for upward motion and vice versa. For downward motion you have to take them negative. Or you can simply remember this very sign convention. In this very sign convention, since small g, that is acceleration due to gravity, is always directed vertically downwards, in this very sign convention where you take vertical height and displacement, I mean displacement and velocity positive, g is always negative in this very sign convention. Or you can remember this very sign convention. For upward motion g can be taken as negative, and for downward motion g is taken as positive. Now let me write the equations of motion for a freely falling body. तो मैं क्या लिखूंगा पहले, this v is equal to u plus gt. So these are the equations of motion for a freely falling body. So for a freely falling body, so I have to replace A by G, and I have to take due care of the proper sign conventions. Now second equation s के बदले लिखूंगा h, that is the vertical displacement. This is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 gt square, or third equation v square minus u square, it is equal to 2gh, and the last one s nth, or simply I will replace s by h, that is h nth, that is equal to u plus g by 2, this is 2n minus 1. So these are the equations of motion for a freely falling body. Now if the body is just dropped, if the body starts from the rest, you can see the initial velocity of the body is 0. So if the initial velocity of the body is 0, now the equations of motion will become, so I will write v is equal to gt, because in this very case body is just dropped, so the initial velocity will be equal to 0, and this h will be equal to 1 by 2 gt square. यहाँ आप ये रिलेशन भी लिख सकते हो, ये जो t है it is equal to under root of 2h by g. Yes, and the third equation will become v square is equal to 2gh, or simply you can write this v is equal to under root of 2gh. But remember dear students, we are assuming here the effect of air resistance. We neglected the effect of air resistance, we neglected the rotation of the earth, because due to rotation of the earth g changes. We neglected these things. One thing, that is we neglected the effect of air resistance, we neglected the effect of rotation of the earth, and we neglected the effect of altitude as well, because we neglected the effect of altitude as well. So these are just some of the assumptions in this very case. So we assume that the effect of air resistance is neglected, okay, the effect of rotation of earth is also neglected, and the effect of altitude is also neglected. So the equations of motion for a freely falling body will become v is equal to gt if initial velocity is equal to 0, h is equal to 1 by 2 gt square, and v square is equal to 2gh. Now let us solve a few questions regarding the motion of a freely falling body. Now here we go with this very question. A ball is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity of 29.4 meter per second. Discuss the motion of the ball. But before discussing the motion of the ball, let me tell you one thing. How to solve a particular problem in physics, how to approach a particular problem in physics, for that you have to consider yourself to be the experimenter. You are doing the experiment and everything is going in front of you. Imagination is must in physics. You consider yourself to be the observer and imagine everything is going on in front of you. Now let me solve the question. Now a ball is thrown vertically upwards. When the ball is thrown vertically upwards, see, if it is thrown vertically upwards, the given here is you throw a ball with an initial velocity of 29.4 meter per second. Now we have to discuss the motion of the ball. Now let us discuss it here. This is the initial velocity, so let me write here, when we throw a ball vertically upwards, after reaching some height it will ultimately come to rest and then it will start the downward journey. Now let us find the velocity of the body after 1 second. You are getting my point or not? This is a body, this is a ball thrown with an initial velocity of 29.4 meter per second. We have to discuss its motion. So let us find the velocity of the ball after 1 second. As per this very relation, v is equal to u plus gt. Since this is upward motion, so we have to take g negative. So I will write v1 is equal to u minus gt. ठीक है ना? So this is velocity of the ball after 1 second. u के बदले लिखूंगा 29.4 minus this is 9.8, so t के बदले लिखूंगा 1. So this is 29.4 minus 9.8. You can easily see this is equal to 19.6 meter per second, right? this is the velocity of the ball after 1 second. Similarly, velocity of the ball after 2 seconds will be u के बदले लिखूंगा 29.4 minus g के बदले 9.8 into 2. So this is 9.8 into 2, that is 19.6. 29.4 minus 9.8 into 2, that is 19.6. You can easily see this is equal to 9.8 meter per second. This is the velocity of the ball after 2 seconds. Now let's find the velocity of the ball after 3 seconds. So this is u के बदले लिखूंगा 29.4, this is minus 9.8 into 3. See, this is 9.8 into 3, that is equal to 29.4. So this is 29.4 minus 29.4, this is equal to 0. So this is the velocity, initial velocity, velocity after 1 second, velocity after 2 seconds, and velocity after 3 seconds is equal to 0. This means that the body attains some height, maximum height, and at this very position the body will start the downward journey. So here you can see from the graph as well, at t is equal to 0, initial velocity is given 29.4 meter per second. After 1 second, velocity of the body is 19.6 meter per second. After 2 seconds, it is 9.8 meter per second. And after 3 seconds, it will come to rest. That is, it will cover the maximum height and then it will start the downward journey. Now let us discuss the downward journey here. So this is downward journey. The ball will start the downward journey after 3 seconds. Now, let us calculate the velocity of the ball after 1 second. Now, when it reaches the highest point, now the initial velocity will be equal to 0. But since the motion is downward, so I have to take g positive. So, v is equal to u plus gt. Since initial velocity is 0, so I will write this is 9.8 into 1, that is equal to 9.8 meter per second. This is the velocity of the ball after 1 second during downward journey. Similarly, I can calculate v2 is equal to u के बदले लिखूंगा 0 because the motion is downward now, plus g के बदले लिखूंगा 9.8 into 2, that is equal to 19.6 meter per second. Similarly, I can calculate velocity of the body or ball after 3 seconds. This is 9.8 into 3, that is exactly equal to 29.4 meter per second. So the ball, it will strike the ground. Let me elaborate it here. This is vertical motion for you, I will show it here. This is the velocity after 1 second, that is equal to 9.8 meter per second. You can easily see it from this figure. The velocity after 2 seconds, that is 19.6, and velocity after 3 seconds is 29.4. So the ball will strike the ground after 3 seconds with an velocity of 29.4 meter per second. This is the motion of a ball thrown with an initial velocity of 29.4 meter per second. Now we can draw some conclusions regarding the motion of a freely falling body, especially for this problem under consideration. So what we observed, what can we conclude from this is that number 1, you can see body took 3 seconds to reach to the highest point. This is called time for upward journey, or you can call it time of ascent, or you can call it time of rise. So time of ascent or simply time of rise, you can see, and after starting the downward journey, it hits the ground again in 3 seconds. So you can say this time of ascent, it is equal to time of descent, or you can say time of rise is equal to time of fall, right? So I will write T1, this is time taken to cover the maximum height from this diagram, and this is equal to T2, that is equal to time of fall, that is time from the maximum height, then it will reach to the ground. So time of rise is equal to time of fall. This is absolutely true for a freely falling body. Number 2, you can see the velocity with which the body was thrown, it hits the ground again with the same velocity. So I can say number 2, velocity of throw. Let me write here velocity of throw, or you can see velocity of throw, it is equal to velocity of return. That is, it will hit the earth, it will hit the ground again with the same velocity. Number 3, you can see from the figure, at this very position, the velocity of the body is same, whether the body is rising or falling, whether it is upward or downward journey, the magnitude of the velocity is same. So I will write number 3 here, the magnitude of the velocity, that is speed. So magnitude of the velocity at any point. So magnitude of the velocity at any point in upward and downward journey. In upward and downward journey. And downward journey is same. And downward journey is same. You got it or not? You can easily see it. Velocity of the body after 2 seconds when it was thrown upwards, it is 9.8 meter per second, and velocity of the body after 1 second at this very position, it is again equal to 9.8 meter per second. So the velocity of the body, rather I can say the magnitude of the velocity, that is speed, at any point during its upward and downward motion, it is same. Number 4, if I drop a body from the rest, that is initial velocity is equal to 0. Now what will happen to velocity? Since v is equal to u plus gt, u के बदले लिखूंगा 0, so this is equal to gt. G के बदले लिखूंगा 9.8 into t. So the velocity of the body, if it is dropped from the rest, it will increase at the rate of 9.8 meter per second every second of its motion. Now what will happen to the distance? Since s, or you can write it h, it is equal to 1 by 2 gt square. G के बदले जब 9.8 लिखूंगा, 9.8 by 2, it is 4.9. So the distance covered in successive seconds, so the distance covered in successive seconds is in this very ratio, that is 4.9 into t square. Now what is the ratio of the distance covered in first second, second second and third second? Let us find it here. That is s first, s second and s third. I hope you remember distance covered in 3 seconds and distance covered in third second. So let me write it here. Distance covered in nth second is equal to u plus g by 2, 2n minus 1. Now if a body is simply dropped from the rest, what will be the initial velocity? Obviously 0. So this s first, I will write s first, that is distance covered in first second. So this will be simply equal to g by 2. This is 2 into 1. 2 minus 2 is equal to 1. So simply it is equal to g by 2, right? Now distance covered in second second. So this will be equal to g by 2. So this is 2 into 2, that is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay. Distance covered in third second, this is equal to g by 2. 2 into 3 is 6. 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. Can you calculate the ratio between distance covered in first second, distance covered in second second and distance covered in third second? You can see this is 1, g by 2 is same in all the three. So this will, so I will write the ratio s first is to s second is to s third. This is equal to 1 is to 3 is to 5. This is what is called the Galileo's law of odd multiples. That is, the distance covered by a freely falling body, if it is dropped from the rest, is in the ratio of odd multiples, that is 1 is to 3 is to 5 is to 7 and so on. So these were some of the points regarding the motion of a freely falling body, equations of motion for a freely falling body, and how do we apply them, and some of the points regarding the motion of a freely falling body during its upward and downward journey. Hope you enjoyed today's lecture. We'll be meeting in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.